Alien King Zoltar visits Earth for the first time and becomes enamored with the British crown. Unable to buy it, he challenges his subjects to steal it, promising a great reward. A team of 5 skilled aliens, led by Xorax, accepts the challenge. The team comprises 2 shapeshifters and 3 AI experts. They devise a plan to infiltrate London, bypass security, and steal the crown, intending to replace it with a replica. Their mission is highly risky and must be executed within a single night. The vast universe has seen many wonders, but none so fascinating as the blue planet known as Earth. When King Zoltar of Zordak first ascended upon Earth with his fleet, he marveled at the planet's vibrancy and the diversity of life that flourished in every corner. It was Zoltar's maiden voyage to this unique world, a place teeming with cultures, histories, and traditions as varied as the stars in the sky. The Alien King, a figure of formidable intellect and curiosity, wandered through Earth's landscapes, studying the intricate details of this rich and vibrant world. His journey brought him to London, a city steeped in history and brimming with iconic landmarks. As Zoltar strolled through the grand halls of the British Museum, his eyes fell upon an artifact that immediately captivated him, the British crown. More than just a piece of jewelry, the crown was a dazzling symbol of the British Empire's rich heritage and storied past. Adorned with precious gems and crafted with meticulous care, the crown shimmered with an aura of regality and power. It was a treasure that spoke of centuries of tradition and authority, a beacon of the nation's identity. Zoltar's curiosity quickly turned into an obsession. The crown's beauty and the history it represented enthralled him. He found himself drawn to it, yearning to make it a part of his own collection of intergalactic treasures. To the Alien King, it was not just a crown. It was a masterpiece of human civilization, a symbol of the Earth's unique culture that he desperately wanted to possess. Driven by this newfound desire, Zoltar sought an audience with the custodian of this magnificent artifact, Queen Elizabeth. During their meeting, Zoltar expressed his deep admiration for the crown and proposed a transaction. He offered immense wealth, treasures from distant galaxies, and rare artifacts from Zordak, all in exchange for the crown. His proposal was sincere and filled with respect for the cultural significance of the crown. However, Queen Elizabeth, a guardian of her nation's heritage, politely but firmly declined his offer. She explained that the crown was more than an object of value. It was a symbol of the British people's identity and heritage, a priceless emblem that could not be bought or sold. Zoltar, persistent in his pursuit, made several more attempts to negotiate. He proposed different deals, each more generous than the last, but to no avail. The Queen's resolve was unyielding. The crown was a part of the nation's soul, a legacy passed down through generations. Frustrated but undeterred, Zoltar realized that the crown's significance extended beyond his comprehension. Despite his advanced technology and vast resources, he could not simply acquire it through traditional means. The crown, a symbol of Earth's rich history and culture, was beyond his reach, at least through peaceful negotiations. Upon returning to Zordak, King Zoltar was far from ready to abandon his quest for the British crown. The allure of possessing such a significant artifact, an emblem of Earth's rich history, had taken root in his mind. As he stepped off his ship, he contemplated the cultural and symbolic value the crown held. It wasn't just a physical object, it represented power, tradition, and the essence of a civilization that had captivated him more than any other he had encountered. Determined not to let this treasure slip away, Zoltar called a grand assembly of his highest-ranking officials, including military leaders, scientists, and strategists. The whole buzzed with anticipation, for it was rare for the king to summon such a meeting. As the assembly settled, Zoltar addressed his subjects with a fervor that betrayed his obsession. He spoke of his journey to Earth, describing in vivid detail the marvels he had seen and, most importantly, the crown that had captured his imagination. With a commanding voice, Zoltar announced his plan. A grand challenge to all Zordakians. The task was simple yet daunting. Whoever could steal the British crown and bring it back to Zordak would receive the highest honor and an extraordinary reward. The king promised wealth, land, and a position of great influence within his court. The hall erupted in murmurs as the weight of Zoltar's proposal settled in. The prize was tempting, but the challenge was immense. The crown was heavily guarded, an irreplaceable symbol of British sovereignty, and its theft would undoubtedly provoke the ire of Earth. Yet, amidst the hushed conversations and skeptical glances, a spark of excitement ignited. The allure of the reward and the opportunity to achieve the impossible began to outweigh the dangers. The idea of becoming a hero celebrated across the galaxy was too tempting to resist. Zoltar's challenge set the stage for a grand heist, a test of wits, skill, and daring. The king's eyes scanned the crowd, searching for the brave souls who would rise to the occasion. As the excitement grew, several elite Zordakians began to step forward, each confident in their abilities. They were among the finest in the kingdom, possessing skills in subterfuge, technology, and combat. The king's challenge had sparked a competitive spirit, and the air was thick with anticipation. Zoltar watched with a satisfied smile, knowing that among these contenders, the perfect team would emerge to undertake this audacious mission. The grand challenge had been set, and the race for the British crown was on. Zoltar's obsession had sparked a bold endeavor, and now it was up to the bravest and most cunning of Zordak to seize the opportunity and claim the glory. The mission ahead was fraught with peril, but for those willing to take the risk, the reward was beyond measure. With the challenge set, the air buzzed with a palpable excitement as the best and brightest of Zordak stepped forward to accept the king's daring proposal. Among the volunteers, 5 stood out, each renowned for their exceptional skills and unyielding determination. They were the elite, handpicked by fate and driven by ambition to undertake the most audacious heist in the history of their species. Their leader, Xorax, was a master strategist known for his razor-sharp intellect and impeccable planning abilities. Under his command, the team exuded confidence and readiness. Xorax gathered his chosen operatives. Kryn and Laura, adept shapeshifters capable of mimicking any species with uncanny precision. Tox, a genius hacker whose skills with artificial intelligence were unparalleled. Rin, a technical wizard adept at manipulating any form of technology. And Vex, an expert in stealth operations and covert tactics. Together, they formed a formidable unit, each bringing unique expertise to the table. The mission was clear: infiltrate Earth, steal the British crown, and return without a trace. In a secluded briefing room, the team convened to discuss their plan. The room's walls were lined with holographic displays, showcasing various images of London and the British Museum, their target. The crown's image hovered in the center, a tantalizing prize. Xorax began by outlining the mission's scope and the immense challenge it presented. The crown was not only a symbol of power, but also a heavily guarded artifact with intricate security measures. The heist required flawless execution and absolute secrecy. The team's first task was to gather intelligence. They needed to understand the crown's security protocols, the museum's layout, and the routines of the guards. Kryn and Laura, with their ability to blend seamlessly into human society, were assigned the crucial role of gathering this information. They would shape-shift into human forms and integrate themselves into the upper echelons of London society. By attending high-profile events and mingling with influential figures, they aimed to gain access to vital details about the Crown's security arrangements. As Xorax continued to detail the mission, the team discussed their individual roles. Talks would focus on hacking into the British Museum's security systems, identifying weaknesses and creating opportunities for the heist. Rin and Vex would assist in disabling alarms, bypassing electronic locks, and ensuring the smooth execution of the plan. The entire operation hinged on timing and precision, with each member playing a critical part. The atmosphere was charged with a mix of tension and excitement. The team knew that success would bring them immense glory and rewards, but failure could lead to severe consequences, including a diplomatic incident with Earth. Nevertheless, they were resolute. The allure of the crown, combined with the king's promise of unparalleled riches and status, fueled their determination. As the meeting concluded, Xorax reminded them of the mission's utmost secrecy and the need for perfect coordination. The heist was set in motion, and the countdown to the grand theft began. As the team moved into the planning phase, the weight of their task became increasingly apparent. They knew the British Museum was not just a building. It was a fortress of history, guarded by cutting-edge technology and vigilant security personnel. Xorax, ever the meticulous planner, led the effort to dissect every detail of the museum's defenses. Using sophisticated surveillance equipment and data-gathering techniques, the team analyzed the layout of the museum, focusing particularly on the Crown's display area. The first step in their plan involved understanding the security systems in place. The team discovered that the Crown was protected by a multi-layered security system, including motion detectors, infrared cameras, and a sophisticated alarm system directly linked to the local authorities. Guards were posted at strategic points, with shifts changing at regular intervals, a key vulnerability that Xorax identified as a potential opening for their operation. Kryn and Laura's role was pivotal in this phase. They were tasked with infiltrating the upper circles of London society, posing as wealthy nobles with an interest in art and culture. Their shape-shifting abilities allowed them to assume the perfect human appearances, with impeccable accents and mannerisms. The pair attended numerous high society events, mingling with influential figures and subtly gathering intelligence on the museum's security protocols. The information they gathered was crucial. They learned about the rotation of the guards, the schedule for public access, and most importantly, the timing of the security system checks. These checks were typically less frequent during certain times of the night, providing a narrow window for the heist. Kryn and Laura also gleaned details about the Crown's display case, which was equipped with pressure-sensitive alarms designed to trigger if the case was tampered with. With this intelligence, the team crafted a detailed plan. The key to their success lay in precise timing and flawless execution. They decided to execute the heist during the guards' shift change, a brief moment when security was relatively lax. Kryn and Laura would use their shape-shifting abilities to impersonate guards and replace the real ones during the shift change. Meanwhile, Tox would hack into the museum's security system, temporarily disabling the cameras and alarms. To ensure that no suspicion was raised, Rin and Vex were tasked with creating diversion. They would stage a minor incident outside the museum, drawing attention away from the heist. The final part of the plan involved replacing the real crown with a convincing replica, a task that required meticulous craftsmanship. The team had already acquired materials to create the fake crown, which would be placed in the display case to delay the discovery of the theft. The planning phase was intense, filled with long hours of strategizing and simulations. Every possible scenario was considered, and contingency plans were put in place. The team rehearsed their roles repeatedly, ensuring that each member knew their part down to the last detail. They couldn't afford any mistakes. The success of the mission depended on their ability to work seamlessly as a unit. As the day of the heist approached, the team felt the pressure mounting. They were about to embark on a mission that could either make them legends or end in catastrophe. But they were prepared, their plan was flawless, and their resolve was unshakable. The stage was set, and the grand theft was about to unfold. As the sun dipped below the London skyline, Kryn and Laura stood poised on the cusp of their mission, fully immersed in their carefully crafted personas as British nobles. Their transformation was flawless. They moved with an air of aristocracy, their appearances polished to perfection, complete with refined accents and impeccable manners. The two aliens had spent countless hours studying human behavior, mastering every nuance to ensure their cover would withstand the scrutiny of the most discerning eyes. The first stage of their infiltration involved blending seamlessly into high society circles. Armed with invitations to exclusive events, they attended lavish galas, art exhibitions, and private gatherings, where the elite of London gathered. Kryn, adopting the guise of Lord Cedric Winton, a wealthy art collector, and Laura as Lady Eveline Fairchild, a patron of the arts, quickly became familiar faces in these circles. Their charm and intelligence made them popular among the city's upper echelons, providing them with invaluable access to influential individuals and, more importantly, the British Museum's inner workings. Their primary objective was to gather crucial information about the museum's security protocols and the Crown's display arrangements. They needed to understand the intricacies of the alarm systems, the guards' routines, and the exact specifications of the display case that housed the Crown. During their interactions, Kryn and Laura subtly guided conversations toward topics of interest, keenly observing and listening for any mention of the museum's security. One evening, at a private dinner hosted by a prominent museum benefactor, Kryn engaged in a conversation with the head of security, subtly probing for details about the museum's new security measures. With a glass of wine in hand, he skillfully navigated the conversation, extracting valuable information without raising suspicion. Meanwhile, Laura, across the room, charmed a curator into discussing the museum's latest exhibit and the logistics involved in securing such priceless artifacts. Their observations revealed several key details. The Crown was protected by a state-of-the-art glass case, rigged with pressure sensors and a silent alarm system. The museum's security relied heavily on a network of surveillance cameras monitored around the clock. However, there was a small window of vulnerability during the guard shift change, a brief moment when the new team settled in and the outgoing team debriefed. It was during this period that the museum's security was at its weakest. Kryn and Laura meticulously documented these findings, communicating the details to their team discreetly. They were careful to avoid drawing any attention to their activities, maintaining the guise of curious nobles with a deep appreciation for art and history. Every interaction was a performance, every word and gesture calculated to reinforce their cover. Despite the challenges, the duo's efforts bore fruit. They acquired blueprints of the museum, detailed guard schedules, and even a close-up analysis of the Crown's display case. With this information, the team could refine their heist plan, focusing on exploiting the identified vulnerabilities. As their time in London progressed, Kryn and Laura grew more confident in their roles. They had successfully integrated into the heart of British society, moving through it like shadows, unseen and unsuspected. Their mission, though fraught with risks, was proceeding smoothly. They were on the brink of pulling off one of the most audacious thefts in history, and the weight of their success or failure hung heavily in the air. With the vital intel gathered by Kryn and Laura, the next phase of the heist rested on the shoulders of Tox, Rin, and Vex. These three were the technological wizards of the team, each with a specialized skill set that made them indispensable for the mission's success. Their task, to breach the British Museum's formidable security systems and create a seamless pathway for the Crown's theft. The trio set up a temporary command center in a secluded location, far from prying eyes. Surrounded by advanced alien technology, they prepared to tackle the human security measures with precision. Tox, the lead hacker, began by analyzing the museum's digital infrastructure. His goal was to find vulnerabilities within the system, backdoors, outdated software, or any overlooked flaw that could be exploited. With a steely focus, Tox navigated through layers of code and firewalls, leaving no trace of his presence. Ren, meanwhile, focused on the museum's surveillance system. He worked to create a loop of recorded footage that could be seamlessly integrated into the live feed, ensuring that any unusual activity during the heist would go unnoticed. This required careful timing and synchronization with the real-time events within the museum. Rin's expertise in manipulating digital feeds was critical. Any mistake could trigger alarms or alert the security personnel. Vex, the team's stealth and tactical expert, coordinated the logistics of disabling physical security measures. This included neutralizing motion detectors and disabling the pressure sensors within the Crown's display case. He also prepared for contingencies, setting up decoy signals and false alerts that could distract the museum's security team if things went awry. Vex's role was crucial in ensuring that the team's presence remained undetected throughout the heist. As they worked, Tox found a significant vulnerability, an unsecured maintenance terminal connected to the museum's network. This terminal provided the perfect entry point for deeper infiltration into the security systems. Using sophisticated hacking tools, Tox bypassed the terminal's basic protections, gaining access to the mainframe. From there, he carefully navigated to the security controls, taking care not to trigger any automatic alerts. The plan required them to temporarily disable the alarm systems and manipulate the cameras during the guard shift change, identified by Kryn and Laura as the best time for the heist. Tox set up a timer for a brief coordinated blackout of all security systems, timed precisely to coincide with the guard's transition. This window would last only a few minutes, but it was all they needed to execute the theft. To ensure the success of this delicate operation, Rin conducted multiple dry runs of the video loop insertion, adjusting the feed to match the timing and movements of the guards and museum staff. Everything had to be perfect. Even a minor discrepancy could raise suspicions. Vex, on the other hand, reviewed the contingency plans, preparing for scenarios like unexpected personnel or technical malfunctions. As the day of the heist approached, the team's nerves were taut with anticipation. The culmination of their meticulous planning and technical prowess was about to be tested. They knew that the success of the mission depended on flawless execution and absolute precision. The crown, a symbol of immense power and history, was within their reach. With everything in place, Tox initiated the final sequence, setting the plan in motion. The countdown began. The fate of the mission hung in the balance as the team prepared to execute the most daring heist in intergalactic history. Their skills, cunning, and nerve would soon be put to the ultimate test. The night of the heist arrived, shrouded in an eerie stillness. The air was thick with anticipation as the team prepared for the final phase of their meticulously planned operation. The clock ticked closer to the guard duty change, the precise moment where the museum's security would be at its weakest. Kryn and Laura, already in their disguises as human guards, were poised at the museum's entrance, their expressions calm but their minds focused. As the actual guards arrived to begin their shift, Kryn and Laura smoothly stepped into position. Their shape-shifting abilities allowed them to mirror the appearance of the real guards flawlessly, down to the smallest detail. As the guards approached, Kryn and Laura exchanged quick, unassuming nods with their counterparts, a customary gesture during shift changes. Just as planned, Tox, monitoring the operation from their remote command center, triggered a brief blackout in the museum's surveillance system. In that critical moment, Vex and Rin moved into action. The original guards, momentarily disoriented by a carefully orchestrated distraction. A subtle gas released into their vicinity, were quickly subdued and rendered unconscious. Kryn and Laura, now fully in control, escorted the unconscious guards to a secluded area where they would remain undetected until the mission was complete. With the real guards neutralized, the team had precious minutes to execute the most delicate part of their plan. Vex and Rin quickly deactivated the pressure sensors and alarm systems protecting the crown. As they worked, the seconds seemed to stretch into an eternity. Every movement was precise, every sound amplified in the silence of the museum's grand hall. Finally, they reached the display case. The crown, a dazzling symbol of British royalty and history, glinted under the dim lighting. With steady hands, Kryn opened the case. There was a collective breath held as the team delicately lifted the crown from its pedestal. In its place, they carefully set down an exact replica, a masterfully crafted fake that would hopefully buy them enough time to escape before the theft was discovered. As the team secured the real crown, Rin reactivated the security systems, ensuring everything appeared normal. The surveillance feeds resumed their normal operations, showing the museum seemingly undisturbed. The team moved swiftly and silently, retracing their steps and ensuring no trace of their presence remained. The real guards, still unconscious, were left in a secure but discreet location within the museum. The hardest part was over, but the mission was far from complete. With the crown now in their possession, the team exited the museum, blending seamlessly with the quiet night. Kryn and Laura, still in their guard disguises, walked confidently towards their extraction point, while Vex, Rin, and Tox monitored the museum's systems for any signs of premature detection. With the crown securely in their possession, the team moved swiftly to their extraction point. Their objective now was to leave Earth unnoticed and return to their home planet, Zordak. As they reached the designated area, a nondescript alleyway not far from the museum, they rendezvoused with their cloaked spaceship. The ship, equipped with advanced stealth technology, was invisible to the human eye and all known detection systems. Inside the ship Tox, the team's tech specialist initiated the final phase of their escape plan. The spacecraft's invisibility shield was activated, ensuring that they remained undetectable as they prepared for takeoff. Meanwhile, Kryn and Laura quickly shed their guard disguises, reverting to their true alien forms. The team's energy was tense but focused. They were almost home free. As the spaceship's engines hummed to life, the team made one last sweep of their surroundings to ensure they hadn't been detected. The city of London lay quiet beneath them, oblivious to the monumental theft that had just occurred. Tox engaged the ship's cloaking system, rendering it completely invisible to any form of radar or visual observation. With everything in place, the ship ascended silently into the night sky, leaving Earth behind. The journey back to Zordak was swift and uneventful, a stark contrast to the tension-filled heist. As they traversed the void of space, the team couldn't help but feel a surge of triumph. They had pulled off an extraordinary theft, stealing a symbol of immense historical and cultural value right under the noses of Earth's most vigilant protectors. Their success was a testament to their planning, skill, and nerve. Upon their arrival at Zordak, the team was greeted with fanfare and celebration. The news of their success had already spread, and they were hailed as heroes. The crown, now securely in their possession, was presented to King Zoltar in a grand ceremony. The king's eyes gleamed with satisfaction as he held the crown, a symbol of Earth's might and tradition, now a trophy of Zordak's cunning. Zoltar, true to his word, bestowed upon the team immense rewards and honors. They were celebrated as the greatest heroes of Zordak, their names etched into the annals of their civilization's history. The crown was placed in a special display in the royal palace, a testament to the king's desire and the team's unparalleled prowess. Back on Earth, the morning brought chaos and disbelief. The museum staff discovered the switch, and the news of the crown's theft spread rapidly. Authorities were baffled, with no clues as to how the theft had been carried out or who was responsible. The replica crown, though convincing, was quickly identified as a fake, further deepening the mystery. The British government and global community were left in shock, grappling with the implications of the theft. As the dust settled, the alien team on Zordak basked in their success. They had accomplished the impossible, executing a flawless heist and escaping without a trace. For them, the heist was not just a mission but a legacy, a story that would be told for generations, a tale of daring and cunning that transcended worlds. And as for King Zoltar, he had achieved his dream, adding a priceless artifact to his collection, a symbol of his power and ambition.